Hello, this is Guy Brown from My Real Estate Advisor. Today I'm just going to do a fairly quick training video about cold calling. So one of my new agents gave a little bit of training this morning on how to do cold calling, and I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll do a little video where instead of you looking at me, you're just listening to my voice. So this might help you to get off to sleep at night. Anyway, so cold calling. What are the objectives even? Objections. I'll come to that in a minute. Objectives of doing cold calling. Well, in a real estate setting, if you're a real estate agent, your aim of the game is to list properties. And how do we list properties? What's the process involved? The first thing we do is we contact the potential customer and we offer to do an appraisal. Now this goes into the principle of I've done something for you, so now you can do something for me, routine. So what tends to happen is the vendor will get probably 3 appraisals on average. They normally go with 3 or 4 different people come in, do an appraisal, do a walk through the property, and then give the client the feedback to say whether or not they think that the property is worth as much as the client thinks, or whether it's worth a little bit more or a little bit less, or a lot less or a lot more, depending on how brave they are and how much they need a listing. So the main objective is to do appraisals. Just get an appraisal, meet with the client, meet with them face to face, and arrange to give them that appraisal, get the feedback from them, and then you do a listing presentation after that. If you can do the whole thing in one go, that is preferable. So if you turn up and you do the appraisal and you say, okay, if you're interested in going ahead, I've got a Form 6, we can get you signed up today and what have you. That's a bit more of the hard sell. If you're trying to be a bit more consultative, then you do the appraisal first and then you come back to the client afterwards and just say, whether or not they want to go ahead, and then you bring a Form 6 into the situation and get them to sign, and remembering that you must make sure that everybody who's involved is there when you have that meeting. So if it's a husband and wife that own the property, then they both got to be there to sign the Form 6. If it's one person that owns a property, that's a different situation. You can just meet with that person and get the form signed. But if it's a family trust thing and there's multiple owners involved, then that starts to become a bit more complicated, and in that instance I would contact the office and make an arrangement to have a meeting with everybody who's involved, possibly at their solicitors or something like that, or in an office. Okay, so that's pretty rare though, to be fair. Most of the time it's done at somebody's home or in an office face to face, and there's normally only 2 people involved, which is the sellers, the buyers. Anyway, so in regards to cold calling, my thing is to write your own script. I've worked in real estate for many years. So in regards to a script, the best thing to do is write one that suits you and your personality. So, and one of the other main keys is to get to the point as quickly as possible, because you don't want to be too long-winded, because people get annoyed. The other thing as well is a lot of people make the mistake of asking permission to talk to the person. Now, have you got enough time to talk to me, blah blah blah. The answer to that is always going to be no. Excuse me. Nobody's going to want to talk to you at all. They want you to get to the point and tell them what it is you've rung them up for. So especially with cold calling, so you've got to make sure that you do that straight away. So to give you an example, I would start a call off with something like this. hello, my name's Guy. I'm calling from My Real Estate Advisor. How are you today? And then the person would obviously come back and tell you how they are. It's just a quick call to see if you might be interested in having an appraisal done on your property, just to see how the property stacks up in this current market. So what you've done there is you've introduced yourself as who you are, where you're calling from, the reason why you're calling. Now, the only mistake I would say with what I just said, excuse me, would be that I said, "Are you interested?" Uses that phrase. If you can avoid phrases like "Are you interested?" "Do you have the time to?" Those sort of things, that's probably for the best. So let's assume that the person is interested and they have got time of day for you and they want to have a conversation with you. Then you'd move on to, I want to confirm the details that I've got. Do you live at number 123 Smith Street on the Gold Coast? And they say yes or no. I say, okay, I need to update my record because I got you down at this address. Is your email address still such and such? Is your phone number still correct? Your mobile phone number, your landline, whatever information you've got. So you need to confirm the details as well, because it's no good getting the yes from somebody and then going, great, I'm going to do this appraisal up straight away, and emailing it across to somebody if the database is out of date and you haven't got the correct information, because this database goes back over 10 years. So so I would say that's important. So let's imagine now we've run through, so we've introduced ourselves, we've established the reason for the call, the person's agreed to have an appraisal done. So what do you do after that? So you take the particulars of the property, ask them if they've done any work to the property recently or anything like that. Now with the coronavirus, we are not doing a lot of face-to-face stuff anymore, so you can say to them, I will email you all the information, and you would do a CMA, email it across off RP data and everything else, and then give them a follow-up call the following week just to make sure they've received the information and to get their feedback. Now, if they are serious, then you would make a face-to-face appointment, go out to see them, do a walk through the property, give them some more feedback and say, look, well, I might have to do a new appraisal on the property based on the condition that it's in. You've done work to it, or they haven't done work to it, or the place is fallen apart, or whatever the situation is. Excuse me. Dying of the coronavirus. So I would go down that road. It would be a case of, let's find out what the situation is, make sure they are definitely interested in going ahead. If they are interested in going ahead, then you go and do the appointment. You need to end up with the agreed amount that this person wants to sell the property for. So at the end of the day, you're looking at what the price is going to be that it's going to list at, what time and when it's going to be listed. You've agreed to vendor paid advertising, which type of advertising and marketing you're going to do, when it's all going to start, and what your time frame is for actually getting the property sold. So remember, your standard stuff is to try and sell something within 6 to 8 weeks, and to do as many open homes as you can when you can. So typically when things are normal and there isn't a pandemic, my advice would be to do up to 5 open homes a week. Cover the weekend, cover it throughout the week in the afternoon, stuff like that. Just depends how much access you've got to the property. If it's empty, then go for gold. I mean, obviously, if it's got tenants and things like that, you're going to have to work around it. Excuse me. So, as the situation stands, it comes down to volume of calls versus the outcome. So, you're going to end up doing, you want to look at a ratio around about 1 in 10. That's pretty standard. So if you do 10 calls, you might get 1 appraisal. You could do 100 calls and get 1 appraisal. You just don't know how it's going to go. So what I would say would be to try and give yourself a goal every day. Okay, so let's try that script from the top and see how it sounds. Hi, good afternoon. This is Guy Brown calling from My Real Estate Advisor. How are you doing today? I am fine, pal. It's just a quick call just to see if you might be open to having an appraisal done on your property, just to see how it stacks up in the current market. Hey, that's fine, pal. What do you want to do? Basically, I just wanted to go through and just give you a basic outline of what I think the property's worth at the moment. So basically how I go about doing that is I just get some information from yourself, and then what I can do, if you like, is I can email the information across to you in a PDF so you've got it. If not, I can actually come and do a visit and do a walkthrough and give you a bit more detailed appraisal. What would you prefer? Alright, pal, I'd just like an email, please. I don't want nobody coming around my house at the moment. If you can just do me the basic courtesy of sending an email, that'd be fine, pal. Okay, mate, all I need to do then, I just need to confirm for your for our records, just make sure we're up to date with the database that I've got. What's your current address? Alright, pal, it's number 23 Allen Road in Mount Gravatt, Brisbane, postcode 4122. Yeah, that's up to date. That's what we've got. And what's your current email address, please, mate? Hi, pal. It's dave.jones@outlook.com. Yeah, okay. So dave.jones@outlook.com. Okay, that's great stuff. Thank you. And can you just confirm your mobile phone number for me, please? Hi, pal, I can at that. So it's 0434695789. Yeah, okay, that's great. Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. Okay, well, what I'll do then, I shall get the basic appraisal done up for you and emailed out to you. Now, I was just going to ask if it might be okay if I can do a follow-up call just to get a bit of feedback from you to see if you agree on the price that we come up with. Aye, that's alright, that's fine, yeah. That's great stuff. Thank you very much for that. So I'll put you down for a call back on Monday next week on the 7th. Now, are you going to be in after 2 o'clock in the afternoon? I don't even know, pal. I normally finish work a bit later than that. Can you make it after 4? I should be in by then. Yeah, no problem. I'll put you down for 4 o'clock on Monday next week. I'll give you a call back and we'll just go over it and we'll just see what you think. Aye, that's fine, pal. Alright, well, I'll catch you later then. Thanks very much for the call. Yeah, thanks very much for your time, and yeah, I look forward to catching up with you soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye. Aye, bye. So that's just a quick example of a straightforward call in a perfect world. Obviously, you're not going to get that most of the time. You're going to get, no, go away, I'm not interested. Where did you get my phone number from? Why are you calling me? Blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. So you'll probably get, 99 of those, and then one person will actually have a conversation to you that's civil. But the thing is, with cold calling, it is a necessary evil. But as you can see, that is a very straightforward thing to do. It's, who am I? Why am I calling? What do I want from you? What am I giving you? What's the benefit to it? Getting some kind of commitment back out of that person with the end of the conversation, building up a rapport with them, that kind of thing. Didn't do a lot of rapport with that conversation. So, but yeah, the open questions like, how's your day gone today? How's work going? That sort of thing. Just open-ended questions so you can sort of get to know the person a bit better if they're a bit more open and straightforward person. But yeah, the more laid back and easygoing you are on the call, the better it is, basically. And the more information you can gather in that call, the easier your job's going to be at the end of the day. And the more valued added service that you're giving them. So, you can even throw into the mix that you might be able to get a financial advisor to give them some free advice and give them a conference call or something like that. So there's lots of different options. that you can throw into the mix. It's just knowing what they are and knowing the benefits. The other thing that you might want to try and ascertain during a phone call as well, because the company does sell a lot of house and land packages and things like that, would be to say something along the lines of, are you looking to buy an investment property? Now, if they are looking to buy an investment property, we've got a lot of different things available to them, apartments and townhouses and all sorts of different things. So that would be a good opportunity there to try and get a follow-up lead, or asking the question, do they know anybody who's looking to buy their first home? That as well would be a good get in and a good lead. So that's my advice on cold calling for today. Any questions, or you fancy doing a bit of run through, please just give me a call. So remember, try and do as many cold calls you can in a day, and just keep pushing yourself, and I wish you the best of luck. Okay, speak to you all soon. Cheers, bye.